Here are your Court News Ohio top stories in 5 minutes. The ability of hundreds of local governments to reclaim alleged overpayments of workers' compensation premiums will be tested when the Ohio Supreme Court considers Cleveland's $4.5 million judgment it won from the state. The court will hear the Ohio Bureau of Workers' Compensation's appeal of 2 lower court decisions that awarded the refund to Cleveland. The courts ruled the city was overcharged premiums for more than a decade under a rate plan that auditors repeatedly criticized the Bureau for using. The Bureau claims the city filed its lawsuit in the wrong court and made legal claims it can't support. The city notes that while it individually sued for refunds, there's a pending class action lawsuit filed by about 2,100 local government bodies, which claim to be similarly impacted by the rating plan. On a dreary day outside the Performing Arts Center for Medina City Schools, people gathered inside discussing a dark cloud over the community.
Years ago, people used to say, well, just say no. It doesn't work with someone who is suffering from drug abuse disorder.
Like many areas across the state, the northern Ohio county has battled a drug epidemic for years.
I'm going on a year and like 15 days, so I just...
The conversation starter in this case was a documentary produced by the Ohio Supreme Court.
I just think it's great that there are so many people in the community here who care about this enough to be here and who all want to help.
Titled Second Chances, 1 Year in Ohio's Drug Courts, the feature spent a year focusing on 3 specialized dockets in the state, including the Medina County Common Pleas Court. Open with all of his struggles, Nick Henry showed constant improvement as he completed the specialty docket. But after more than 3 years of sobriety, his story was a reminder of how substance use disorder is a lifelong affliction.
It was a year and a half after I had completed successfully drug court that I picked up again.
So Chief Justice Maureen O'Connor, legislators, the drug court team, and its graduates elaborated on their efforts to help those in need.
I think that's really important that the court systems, that the healthcare systems, and that the providers continue to connect people into the recovery community. So when they are beyond treatment, when they are beyond the system, that they continue this journey of recovery. For agents of change aimed at accountability and treatment, they always have hope, because beyond the gloom, there's a ray of light.
We're always going to strive for solutions to those problems, and that's why we do what we do.
It's one of the more remarkable structures in Ohio. It's also the setting for one of the iconic films of the last generation. It is the Ohio State Reformatory.
Anybody else get a sense of just awe when you stood in that 6-story cell block?
Judges and magistrates from across Ohio made the trip to Mansfield not only to learn about the Shawshank Redemption, but more importantly, the state's history of crime and punishment.
One of the reasons that I decided early on that I wanted to visit prison was because I was going to be sending people to prison.
In operation from 1910 to 1990, the prison provided a unique perspective to the judiciary about what conditions looked and felt like for inmates decades earlier as they compared crime statistics from the previous century. On top of analyzing numbers, judges participating as facilitators posed questions to their fellow jurists about self-evaluation.
Did you start out being tough, or did you start out giving a chance, saying, I'm not going to impose 8 years, I'm going to impose 4 years and see what happens?
If they are productive and do well and show that they can behave, that's something I will take into account.
As these arbiters look back at the past, they also got a chance to experience the present at Mansfield Correctional Institution.
Just like you have several of the same people coming into your courts for the same offenses, we see them all coming back in as well.
There, the judges and magistrates heard from those who run the facility and even occupy it, as they explored the 57-acre site that houses more than 2,500 inmates.
What does it mean to people when they first set foot in this building? And what does it mean when they set foot outside of the building?
By day's end, a wider perspective on criminal justice and rehabilitation affirmed a clearer focus for some of the attendees.
I'm even more committed that we can't look at this in a vacuum. We have to look at our education system. We have to look at those areas where systems have failed.
And that's a look at Court News Ohio's top stories. Visit courtnewsohio.gov for the latest headlines on Ohio's courts. You can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter.